Hello, 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 and welcome back, everyone. This is Jedi Master Depaul here, and we have also xcoregamerskillz, my dyad in the Force, and welcome to episode. Do I sit there say it? 10 of Conspiracy Cantina. Yes, we have made it to double digits, guys. Woo! I think it's time to get a soundboard. I think it's time to get a soundboard. We're going to get a soundboard. All right, so welcome to episode 10. Super excited for this one. This is actually the one that we're going to be the topic we're going to be talking about with ourselves and our guests. Actually, got I think me and you both started with Star Wars. And before we reveal what this is going to be, if you have not already seen because of the title, um, yeah, we're gonna this is going to be episode 10 of the Conspiracy Cantina, Return of the Jedi. So, yeah, guys, this is a good, exciting one. I mean, one of our catchphrases at the end is that because of that. 1 second. So, super excited about this one. Pop that up, and let's go ahead because we do have a special guest today, and we want to introduce this special guest. And if you're on TikTok, if you're part of the Star Wars TikTok community, you know this man. He's actually a great supporter of a lot of content creators, as well as an amazing content creator of himself, for the community. We'd like to create a positive, uplifting community and content. And it's cool to have opinions and different opinions. And we want to introduce him and welcome him to the Cantina. So let's do that right now. So we're going to bring this guy in. We're excited to have him. We're excited for you to see him. Here he is, the one, the only, Ready Comics Roll.
I appreciate you gassing me up like that. Because I'm sure nobody knows me at this point. I'm working on it. But I like the hype man mentality.
There you go.
Build me up there. I try.
It's all good. So yes. Welcome. Let the people know who you are, where they can find you, and why are you here today?
Well, I'm Anthony of Ready Comics Roll, as you so eloquently put it. I am an entertainer, writer, and producer. You can find me on TikTok, at least for now. I'm getting hit with a lot of community strikes for my prop weapons. But in case that goes away, you can also find me here on YouTube. I also have a podcast that's no longer running, but 80 episodes for you all to enjoy on Spotify, Amazon, and iTunes. And then if you want to follow me and hear just other nonsense come out of my mouth, you can always follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
There you go.
The reason why I'm here is because I was invited for a mutual love of Return of the Jedi.
There we go. Oh, we love the mutual loves, don't we? I mean, that's always what brings us together, is the mutual love of Star Wars. But this one's going to be specifically around Return of the Jedi. So, with that said, I'm talking a lot, so I'm going to let my dyad take over on this one. And just introduce yourself too, sir. I mean, this ain't just the Jedi Master Depaul show. This is the Cantina. xcoregamerskillz, let's go.
I am xcoregamerskillz. I got started on TikTok just talking about the Mandalorian, and people seem to like that, so I kept talking about Star Wars. Return of the Jedi has been my favorite Star Wars film since I saw it, so I thought it was only natural that we talk about this at least one time on the Conspiracy Cantina. And of course, Anthony here was like, "Hey, when you do that episode, can you invite me?" I said, "Of course." Anthony makes awesome content over on his channel. It's all great and hilarious. His cosplays are actually really cool. If you guys aren't following him, you probably should.
Nice.
You both are just too kind.
Hey, man. I mean, just telling the truth. I mean, there's no point to lie and to hype anybody. This is actually the truth. So, I mean, it's we support each other, we love each other, and we appreciate you being on here, being a guest, special guest on here because at the Cantina, because we appreciate you taking the time out your day. Okay, baby. We all are we all are fathers.
Oh no, yeah, I totally understand.
So we understand. So thank you for taking the time out of the day. your busy schedule, and being here on the Cantina. So with that, before we jump into all the good talking points and reasons, things behind the topic today, let's go ahead and say what's up to the chat before we dive in. So we have Darth Man 86. What's going on? Well, thank you, sir. Of course, XCore Gamer Skills. Hey. Yeah, you did mention that you have a code.
Yeah.
The joys of and benefits of having kids that go to school, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're getting over it, but yes. Let's be honest. Let people know how you're doing. Feeling better?
Yeah, slightly.
Okay, good.
Better than I was.
Okay. All right, that's what's up. Recovery. So yeah, man. Hey, Earth Production, what's going on? I'm just getting out of the way first. Oh man, we'll get to that.
There will be an epic battle over this
We will
opinion.
get to that, man. I think that's a good topic too. We're gonna do a top, not today. Actually, I guess we are going today. Yeah, but okay, but we'll get to it. Yes, number 10. Yes, it's popping. And as my diet says, wrong, wrong. Earth Productions, you're wrong.
There's one for your soundboard right there.
All right. What's going on? Hey. Yo, Patamon Podcast, what's going on? Thanks for dropping in and showing some love. Awesome. So thank you, everybody, for dropping in here. I did. Okay, baby. So yeah, so we're gonna hop right into this one. Episode 10 talking points. So with that said, we already did intros, and since we're talking about Return of the Jedi, it's fair enough and only right to start with this question. Why do you love Return of the Jedi? Plain and simple. Guess first, of course. So comics rolls. Let's go.
Laser swords. No, I'm kidding. For me, I mean, it's the culmination of an epic space opera and a story of hope that still inspires to this day. I mean, we see, the characters we've traveled with from the very beginning with A New Hope on this journey and just growing each of them as characters. It's not even just about Luke's story necessarily, even though it is the Skywalker saga. I mean, it's also just we see them all kind of get to either close to the best versions of themselves or the best versions of themselves. There's just so many very powerful themes that still resonate even to this day. It's a harrowing story of redemption. On top of that, it shows that even the darkest hearts can contain a spark of light, and that some people are not beyond that kind of salvation. That needs to be ignited by a spark of kindness, compassion, and hope. Hope also being like another huge theme just throughout all of Star Wars, not even just the original trilogy. As these characters, they just continue to fight against just insurmountable, almost nigh impossible odds, but they still continue to fight for what they believe in and continue to hold on to that hope and fight for what's right.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think better than any other film, any of the 9 films we have, Return of the Jedi hits literally every single theme of Star Wars and knocks it right the hell out of the park. And it's done so well. It's done well enough that kids can understand what's going on, and it doesn't talk down to the audience at the same time. That's really what I love most about the OT and in this film in particular.
No, I agree. I'm glad you brought up that point about it doesn't talk down to the audience at all, the kids or anything like that, because that's key. I think that's it. Yes, it had the big teddy bears and it Ewoks, and that's what got a lot of the kids on eyes. Like, oh, cool. For me, that's what it was. One of the things that caught my attention as a kid, but there was so much more into it. I mean, yes, laser swords and everything, but like you said, as a space opera, and it was so in depth and touched on every point for Star Wars, and so showed the through the whole trilogy, so showed the development for everybody. Um, just as you get, I was just thinking about it today. I was like, as I got older, it became more in depth and more. It's like, oh my god, this is so profound. This is so amazing. It goes on so many levels, and the fact that it can resonate with little kids, adolescents, adults, and it's just like overall, it wasn't just like one show pony. That's right. Yeah, right. Yeah,
One trick pony.
show. One trick pony. There you go. Thank you. And it was like it actually hit on different levels. So that's one of the things. I mean, loved the dialogue, and even to this day, I still see things in there that's like, oh, and like metaphors and just like, oh, wow. Could it be this? Could it be that? Yes. Oh, it's like it's on so many levels and the possibilities. So I mean, that's in itself. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, of course, Ewoks. I love Ewoks.
Who doesn't love Ewoks? I know
Love
people.
Ewoks.
I know people claim that they don't love Ewoks, but let's be real.
How do you?
Honestly, doesn't.
I don't get how you don't like Ewoks. They're like
I don't know.
huge giant teddy bears.
And they're
The
set.
people that say that they like Progs but hate Ewoks, those are the people that really kind of give like the weird eye. Like how? Because I mean,
the world may never know.
Right? Exactly.
I mean,
So-
at least Ewoks have Yub Num for life.
Yes.
The fact that they are simultaneously the most ugly and adorable creatures in Star Wars at the same time,
right?
and just being
That is
tacticians too.
very true. Yeah, they're no joke. I mean,
No, you don't play around with Ewoks. I mean, they look all cute and cuddly, but they'll jack you up.
Yeah, let's not forget the helmet drums.
yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I know that Darth Chaka always says, they was eating people. I'm like, yeah, no.
There's a reason why Battlefront 2 has the Ewok mode that basically plays out like a survival horror game.
Yes, yes, it really does. I mean, I remember they came out with that, like, really, guys? Seriously? And I was like, I tried it. Oh, shit.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, this is just for the sake of just being able to shoot Ewoks to stress relief. No,
It's like, yeah, no.
those Ewoks will eat you.
That's crazy. Also, in chat, let us know who your favorite character. I mean, the reason why you love Star Wars. Sorry, the reason why you love Return of the Jedi. Darthman says, "Beautiful poetry to episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I know episode 6 came first, but it just flows so well. Love Star Wars. Yes, absolutely. It's the foundation for a lot of the poetry and themes of the other films as well. We are too old to remember saying, yeah. I love kicking their butts in the Force Unleashed. You know what? They just need to add that to PlayStation, like overall. Just be able to like, hey, is PS4 backwards compatible to PS2?
No, unfortunately not.
Because I was gonna buy that shit right.
Well, I got tricked into people were like, oh yeah, PS5 is completely backwards compatible because that was a rumor for the longest time. And I was this close to buying one with money I didn't even have, and then I looked into it. It's like it's not backwards compatible with anything.
Oh, that's not good. Episode 6 has my favorite actor in it as well. Warwick Davis. That's what is Warwick Davis still alive or did he pass?
No, he's still alive.
He's alive. Okay, cool.
He's still alive.
All right. We lost extra Davis, but he'll be right back. Yes. It's Davis is Jim. Yes, he is.
Hi, I'm now your new co-host.
For right now, yeah. So there we go. It's okay. Things happen.
I was just saying I took over. See, that's why I'm in the number 2 spot now.
Yeah, it didn't have. You might as well, right?
All right. So, with that said, actually, to go off, to go off of what Darthman said, who's your favorite character? I mean, you said that's your favorite actor, but who's your favorite? Who's your favorite character in Return of the Jedi? This is a hard one. I'm not gonna lie, because character character out of Star Wars, but in general, I have it. But just for that movie, I'm like, oof.
It's not easy. There's a lot of great characters.
No, it's a lot of great characters. Leia pulled her own. Like she had. She
has from the beginning. She has from the beginning.
Man, like she, of course, no, yeah, like she did, and
remember, she saved them. They didn't save her.
Exactly, and just like constantly, she's done that. What else? From I don't. This is a hard one. I mean, I love how Vader had more role, like just his banter with to draw out Luke. That's I was like, oh, this is nice. That was more of it had that Anakin-esque. But
just now Obi-Wan taught you well, and he sees Luke on the high ground.
Yeah. It's just freaking crazy. It's hard. I mean, C-3PO had some good scenes in there. R2.
He was a golden god.
Yeah, right. Chewie. I mean, of course, I love the Ewoks, like I said, but I'm not going to say my favorite character. I mean,
nobody's going to judge you if you say Wicket.
Oh, Wicket is my favorite Ewok. Wicket is my favorite Ewok. Even the baby Ewok, when he gets scared, I've seen it on C-3PO in the flying Luke lifting him up. He's like, that part right there. But oh, man, I don't know. What about you guys? I gotta think about this one.
See, I'll let you go ahead and go first, Cord.
Luke is always my favorite character. It really, honestly, like it doesn't matter. Like he's my favorite character in like anything, all media, whatever it is. I love the end of this movie because we were talking about this last Monday on They Fly Now. We did the episode on Luke Skywalker, and the thing about George is George really understands the hero's journey so perfectly. So when you have at the end of this movie, the reason, like I said, there's so many layers to this movie when you really break it down and start to watch it. And when you have at the end of this movie is you have the end of the hero's journey, but it's not just the end of Luke's hero's journey. You have the end of the hero's journey also for Anakin, because the end of the hero's journey is the reconciliation with the father and the apotheosis. So Luke's reconciliation with his father is he turns into the light side, and his apotheosis is he finally becomes a Jedi Knight. Well, with Anakin, you have the same thing. He throws his father, Palpatine, essentially, like that's the father figure in this metaphor. He throws him over the shaft, and that's his reconciliation. And then he has his apotheosis and becomes a Force ghost.
Would you say he gives him the shaft?
I mean, in a manner of speaking, yes, literally.
I mean, he gave freaking Palpatine the shaft.
So you have this whole thing that really has been being led up to, which is why one of the reasons I love this movie. Like that's one of my favorite parts of this whole movie is that end there. Really, I don't like. I will say that the original release of the film, there's nothing I don't like about it.
Gotcha. Okay.
See, now I just feel like I am the evil version of Core. Not necessarily the evil version. I'll just say that because then I can make a Luke joke. But I hate to say it, and I know it always sounds like such a basic answer, especially from original trilogy fans, but there's a reason for it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have the same reason. Because my favorite also is Luke Skywalker. But a very big reason for that is because what he stands for, the journey that he undergoes from this whiny little kid in the first movie who looks to the stars and wants action and adventure, to somebody who, by the end of the film, realizes he bit off more than he can chew. In the second film, he's still a little bit more reckless, but at least now he's a little bit more focused on what he wants to do. He wants to be of help. He now has this new kind of found family, this new cause that he wants to fight for. He has purpose. However, he's still very headstrong and a little bit full of himself. He's a little cocky, even if it's for good reasons. And he gets humbled by the end of it. Not only that, but his entire Earth is basically, so to speak, shattered because of the fact that he ends up finding out that Darth Vader is his father. This evil, ominous being that killed probably the closest tie he had to his father. He ends up finding out is his father.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time we get to Return of the Jedi, even just from the very beginning, you just see almost an entirely different person. And I'll probably get into that more later. But yes, absolutely. It just his eternal optimism. I know a lot of people can find that kind of annoying. But I mean, it's something that a lot of us could really use in real life, especially his compassion, even as somebody who has done something so horrible as Darth Vader has. So, yes, absolutely. That.
Hey, great answers. Both great answers. After thinking about it some more, I'm gonna go with not Luke.
That's right. Don't be generic like us.
No, I'm not gonna go to Luke. Like I said, it has some great characters.
It does. It does. I mean, if you were to get rid of Luke from the equation, I think it would probably be a lot harder for the two of us to come up with.
I think it would. But and I'm kind of, okay. If we're going off of just this movie alone, so I'm thinking like I'm gauging things off past Ruby. No, I ain't doing Han Solo. So I was thinking about Jabba because Jabba, like, he was like, okay. I mean, he didn't do that much, but he was sitting there. But this was like more the second time we saw Boba Fett as well.
Jabba Hutt would definitely be the dark horse choice.
Yeah, right. But and I want to say Yoda. I love Yoda.
Can't go wrong with Yoda.
No, yeah, because
even on his deathbed, he was a smug
right?
little cheeky bastard.
Like he tried to die before he can to avoid a question. Yeah. It's like, damn it! You really had to ask me that.
Sleep now, I must.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Leia on this one.
It's a solid pick.
Yeah.
Very, very
I'm gonna go with Leia, just for the fact that, just everything that she accomplished, and just she was already like pretty developed throughout the beginning. Like, she was mature, but at the same time, she still is a badass. And like, she came in to rescue a part of the plan to rescue Solo. Spoilers if you haven't watched Return of the Jedi, shame on you.
By now, you really need to give a spoiler warning.
But yeah, people.
It's only been like 40 years. I mean,
Exactly.
No, I mean that's an absolutely great pick, especially because she tricked Jabba into thinking she was a bounty hunter. The whole stunt with the thermal detonator, and then she's the one that ultimately did save Han Solo to begin with.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And then it choked out Jabba, saved it. Like, psh. I'm like, even after everything she's gone through, like being a victim, like being made a slave, and then wearing that outfit in front, like, you can imagine what like. I'm pretty sure they have it in the script, but you probably Jabba made her do and shit. Like, oh, okay, you my slave. Like, ooh, what the? And so, like, just that, and then
You know how much strength that would take too, just to be able to choke somebody out like that. That's
right with a chain. That big, like, yeah. So yeah, I mean that alone, exactly. I'm talking about a big old slug, a slug. So yeah, I'm going with Leia because she's a badass. I love Leia.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother trying to arm wrestle her.
Yeah, hell no, I'm cool. I'm straight. So yeah. So Leia is my character. Um, she's my spirit animal or spirit person, and Return of the Jedi. Okay. What about you guys? What are who's your favorite, or what is your favorite character in Return of the Jedi? Uh, Darth Man said, "Who said Wicket? Hey, Wicket's awesome. I mess with Wicket.
Yeah.
Love me some Wicket. So predictable. I said what I said.
I did say what I
Hey,
said.
what's up, Element? If you guys, if you guys don't know this, Elements and Dark Choco has a podcast.
I had no idea.
You
It's
didn't
news
know
to
it?
me.
You guys need to subscribe to it. It's amazing. Gotta give him some love. So, yeah. What's going on, Element? So yeah, but seriously, great podcast. We love them. Uh, 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 two great beacons of the community. Uh, light, lights that keeps on shining. And lately, the dark side been coming out in them lately. I love it too. I'm like, yes. Like, good.
Give into your hatred.
uh, so, what's your favorite scene in Return of the Jedi? I got mine already. Go ahead.
It's Quarter's turn to go first.
No, it's your turn.
Nah, fine. Well, see, the reason why I don't want to go first is I'm afraid I'm going to take away your answer because I kind of already have an idea
That's
what you're
okay,
going to say.
because I have like 3, so it's fine.
Okay.
Same.
Well, mine has to do with the final duel between Luke and Vader for, again, reasons that we talked about before. Because the funny thing is, and it's so odd because some people, it seems like there's many different takeaways for different people based on their perception of that battle. A lot of people see it and they're like, oh, this is the moment we get to see Luke finally be a badass. And, you know, if that's your perception of it, that's fine, but that means you kind of missed the point of what that was about. Yes, we got to see him be this amazing duelist. We finally get to see him kind of being this Jedi he's supposed to be. But the problem is he was giving into his emotions at that time. It was very much a struggle with the dark side, with himself, with his emotions, with his past, with everything. This was the penultimate battle in every way, shape, and form you could think of. And so when he comes to that point and he's struck Vader down, you know, he takes off his hand and he looks to his own hand and he comes to that realization is like, again, he sees the parallels finally at last. Everything finally kind of is, all the training, everything that he's been told, the history of his father, everything finally just kind of clicks into place. And it's such a beautiful and moving moment. Because in that moment he kind of realizes, no, this is not the right way. This is not the Jedi way. This is not the way to do so. I'm trying to prove this man can be redeemed. And look at what I'm doing. I'm giving into my baser instincts, my baser emotions. And when he just turns to the Emperor and he gives that whole speech, you know, I'm a good Jedi like my father before me, and he's like, I'm not going to go ahead and strike him down, throws away that lightsaber. It's just such a huge just gesture when it comes to, again, the theme of also hope. He's putting his literal life on the line on the hopes that his father can be redeemed, that he can prove that he is still a good man behind all the robotics, behind the armor, behind all of that. And we get to see again, the culmination of that. We get to see that where Vader does finally fulfill the prophecy. He turns back to the light and all that other good stuff. It's just so much going on to it. I'm getting emotional even just talking about it.
All right. X-Core.
Now your turn.
My turn. Okay. So, like you said, I actually have a couple of them. One is literally Yoda faking his death to avoid Luke Skywalker. It's like, rest I must. Yes, rest I must. And it's that big old sigh. And that was a great. I love that whole scene. Just the seeing Luke's face and where he like he went through so many emotions. It's like and then the acceptance of it's like, okay, well, damn. And then he's like, I gotta fight my father. Like, what the? Okay, this is all messed up. Like he didn't have enough time to. The fact that he took all that in and went through all that emotions right then and there, didn't have the time to really comprehend as a normal person. Like, shit, man, this is my dad. He cut my hand off. What is going on? Like all those questions that you would have. So that's one of my favorite scenes. Of course, the battle between Luke and the whole throne room scene. That's amazing. Like Palpatine's the second Death Star. That whole act right there, between the battle between Luke and Vader, and even Luke
Yeah,
letting his rage out.
everything going on too, because then you also have the starship battle that's going on just
Mhm.
outside the window, which also literally plays into what's going on in the throne room with that whole scene going down, and also down the forest moon of Endor when they're trying to raid it. Like it just everything just it clicks so well together. It just
Yeah.
fires on all cylinders.
No, I totally agree. And it's just like, man, it's like how everything works together, and just like it was beautifully orchestrated, and just everything, the dialogue and the battling and all that stuff. It was so amazing, and just the emotion that, what like you said, that was put into it. So those two for sure. And more of the Jabba Palace part, just like when Luke was using Force and all that stuff. I love Force. Like I think I'm a Force junkie, so Force lore is amazing. So yeah, that was good.
It's a shame that we didn't see him use more, but I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
Probably
absolutely.
we'll talk about that.
Um, yeah, I have a few favorites. The opening sequence is probably my favorite, like bar none. Like that whole as soon as Luke walks through those doors till he lights up his saber is that's an epic moment of film. But the one nobody ever talks about that I absolutely love is the speeder bike scene through the redwoods. I mean, that's amazing. That's one of the
Yeah.
best set pieces in cinema. And it's so easily forgotten among all the other crazy stuff that happens in that movie, but I absolutely love that sequence.
No, I agree with you. I actually, kind of still to this day, had a huge obsession with the speeder bikes when I was a kid. When they actually came out with the toy, like I don't really like the Empire, but I'm like, I want this toy just so I can have just the speeder
Yeah.
bike, just so I can pretend like I'm driving around with the speeder bike. Because to me, that was like one of the coolest sci-fi vehicles I've seen around that time. So no, I agree with you. Like that was also a very fun scene, especially just kind of the way it plays out.
Yeah,
Also
and
very
it's
dangerous. Makes motorcycles look tame in comparison.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then you have you have them jumping off, and it's just there's so many little parts that sequence that I love it. It's so much fun.
no, absolutely.
The Toro up there with the front of your vehicle.
Yeah. He cuts the front stabilizer off and just
Yeah, that noise too. I
yeah.
was like, okay. Um, my favorite scene is when the Empire shows up on the Death Star. Just the presence he gives off shows the true power of the dark side and the Empire. Yes, it does. Like
You thought
knowing
Darth
that
Vader was the
Vader
bad.
had a boss. It was like when we found out, like he's like, oh, the Empire, like, but like, oh, whoa, there's somebody who controls Vader. There's somebody bigger and badder than Vader. Who the fuck is this motherfucker? Like, wow. Behind the scenes shows the behind the scene big bad, showing you that Vader isn't. Yes, just yep. See, there we go.
That
Yes,
person's so right. I agree with them
exactly.
110%.
Oh, thank you, chocolate, sexual chocolate. Oh, thank you, sir. um, hey, yeah, welcome. Where there's one, there must be. Yes, indeed. All right. So, with that said, the next thing, Choco, I'm glad you're here for this one. How do you feel about Jedi rocks and its placement in the movie?
I'm gonna go last on this one.
All right, I'll go first. I'll go first because I got some cheesy jokes to go with this.
Okay.
I would say as an audiophile that I felt like it wasn't the Max Rebo band's best work. I mean, but it can't be too harsh considering the whole song was improvised kind of on the spot. I mean, after all, Cy Snoodles always knows how to please a crowd.
There you go.
So can't say that it was awful, but I mean, but in a more serious note, from the actual film perspective, I mean, it kind of makes sense, at least as far as the setting that takes place in. Jabba, he's a crime lord, but he's also kind of this guy who really knows how to throw a party. So for his inner circle, he always knows how to entertain. He pretty much has Max Rebo Band on retainer, practically. But I mean, from a technical filmmaking standpoint, it's obvious that was just George Lucas's attempt just to kind of flex on the filmmaking industry during that time, because he's always somebody who loves to kind of push what technology is capable of. Even to this day, in his involvement with Lucasfilms. So that's to me, that's what it was. It was kind of like a tech demo that he just happened to kind of put back into one of his older films. I didn't have an issue with it. I didn't think it was awful. It fit for what they were trying to do.
What were they trying to do? I don't. That's what makes. I'm like.
Again, they were just trying to.
Well, we had this technology, so we can just add an extra little, make it longer. I mean, honestly, that's how I felt about Jedi Rocks. Nothing. I mean, nothing against it. I was like, it was one of those like your drunk uncle starts singing at the family reunion. It's like, okay, like let him do him. Enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it had a purpose. It just replaced the barge music that was in the background. That's all I think is added to that. Like, and then like, okay, well, let's throw this in here.
I think it was more just kind of show a little bit more. So agree with you. It was unnecessary. It didn't need to be added in there, but just to kind of show that he could throw a good party. Up until he got upset, and just like, all right, you're going to get fed to the Rancor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my least favorite of all the special edition editions. Like, it just ruins the pace of that sequence. Because like, if you watch that, like, if you're watching that without that scene there, like that the pacing of that whole opening sequence up until they get off of Tatooine is like it's really tight, and the tension is where it is on purpose. So
yeah,
it's one of those things that's like, and I said it with the last time we talked to Peyton, and he made a TikTok on it. It's like you're watching, you're like, oh wow, and you're like, oh what, why? So yeah, I mean that's one of those things. It's like I had to ask the question, like, do people really are aboard with Jedi rocks?
Hey, some people are. I mean, hey, if to each their own, but I just don't get it. It's I like. Was it? Here's the real question: was it to take away from the nip slip?
Maybe.
That's the real question.
They were going for it.
As a kid, that was my favorite scene.
Of course it was.
Right? As an adolescent growing up, that was my favorite scene. I personally don't like it, but the fact that we get characters back from Clone Wars just make... Yeah, for sure. Because, no characters in Star Wars goes wasted. And Chuckle said they were going for it. They were really going. Yes, they were. And if you see me lean like this, sorry, because damn sun right here.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's like every time.
That's why I buy blackout curtains.
My wife bought some. I'm like, I don't want them for this one. I'm waiting until we move again, or get the I should say I'm waiting to get the actual office so I can redo everything properly. Chocolate, we know it's not your favorite. I was joking, by the way. It's not my favorite. However, it is burning. Yes. Star Wars Lord. Yes. What's going on, man? Also has a podcast. So Choco has a podcast with Element called The Diet and the Force. He also has a podcast called The High Ground. Awesome podcast.
He
We love
does.
him very much. Chris, awesome, has a podcast. That he has. I can't remember the name. I think it's not Too Nerdy Too Black, is it?
It's Too Black Too Nerdy. You're
Too Black Too
You
Nerdy.
had it. Just
my dyslexia kicking in. But yeah, thanks, sir. Appreciate that. So with that, and how do you feel about the first time you saw Luke in the Return of the Jedi? That's a great question. Really good question right there. That could pull on some heartstrings. So I'll let you guys go.
So I didn't catch that. Who's going first again? Is it me?
You.
Yeah, you can go.
Who's on first?
All right. Who's on first? Who's on second? So how do I feel about the first time seeing Luke in Return of the Jedi? I feel like a lot of these questions kind of overlap one another for me. But again, so last time we saw Luke, he lost his hand. He's distraught. His entire worldview is kind of shattered. He's left a very different person than from when we last see him in The Empire Strikes Back to when we now see him in Return of the Jedi. The Luke we see walk into that palace is a very different person. You can tell even just, and I love the actual visual storytelling. Without even saying a word, you can just tell by the way he carries himself, the way he speaks, the almost kind of stoicism. It feels very much kind of like the old Jedi. And even just the powers that are on display. Like you said, you're a huge fan of, the Force itself and the powers kind of being shown. So the fact that he Force chokes the two Gamorreans are kind of just like, well, now looking back at it, because before there wasn't the whole establishment of, Force powers being kind of aligned. And even then, that's still mostly like a video game thing. But to see him do the Force choke, even looking back at it now, you're just like, that's he shouldn't be doing that. That's not something he should be doing. But yeah, he finally kind of comes into his own again. You can see even just from the visual storytelling how much he's matured, and it's a great indication that there's a time skip without ever even showing you any kind of dates or anything else as well. So from a storytelling standpoint, it just works in so many different ways. So for me, it was just, I was in awe the first time I saw Luke like that coming in and trying to do that whole bargain.
Yeah, I was like, I remember I was a young kid and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is Luke Skywalker? Like, he's got, he's dressed in all black. He walks in. He the first thing you see him do is he chokes the two guards. He mind tricks Bib Fortuna. And then, he tries it on Jabba, and that doesn't work. But he's just like, okay, well, still, you can you can release my friends, or I'm going to kill all of you. It's really your choice. It's like, wait a minute, this is Luke Skywalker? Like, what?
Do you need a mind trick though to even be able to trick Bib Fortuna? You could probably just talk him in almost anything.
Believe it or not, like, yeah, it's he doesn't get enough credit, and they kind of explain this, and it's not Bib Fortuna himself, but it's in the it's in Master Apprentices, like I forget what they call him, but like Bib Fortuna is not the only guy to be serving the Hutts, and like those guys are sort of the power behind the power. Like, if those guys don't do their job right, they just get killed. So, like, it's in his best interest not to be a complete fuck up.
Pretty much. All right, so what I thought about Luke Skywalker. So I thought he came out looking like a badass, like coming in there just like a cloak figure. I'm like who is this? I thought it was like is Darth Vader coming in to see Jabba real fast to pick up like, hey, I need Han Solo back. Then he's like coming in like boom boom, pull this thing like I'm like not even like the hook. It was like like a finger will choke you. Bah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, that and it's like he was walking in talking to Bib. It's like, hey, you'll take him to your you'll take him to see Jabba. Just boom, just like popping the force off like it's a tic tac. Like, what's next? What's next? Acting like a Jedi master or a Jedi Knight. So I was like, okay. I don't know who this dude is from that farm boy we found and the little whiny person to I'm a boss. I'm about to like all darked up and like, is this dark side or is this what is going on? So it was just like, whoa, okay, this is serious business. Damn, in there saw Jabba and like boom. So it was like bad ass nits to the next level. It's like this is like unfortunately back then. Fortunately, this is what people was like, holy crap. Unfortunately, it was the expectations for everybody in the future. It was like, oh, this is what we always want to see. No, you ain't always see people get old. Sorry, but no, Luke was bad. Luke was a badass. And when you first saw him, I was like, okay, dang, this is impressive, most impressive. So, yeah. That's my stance on that one. But what else? So Chris says he can't even remember my first viewing of Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Hey, I remember. I feel you on that one because it's been some time. But yes, I'm just going off of pre-memories. Next one is: do you agree with Obi-Wan and his certain point of view?
All right, who wants to start bashing Obi-Wan?
So I kind of agree with where Obi-Wan's coming from. Like, there's no way you're gonna tell this kid that you don't know that you killed his dad, and that it didn't work out, and oops, it's Vader. And like we didn't have all the backstory, so it's real easy to like be upset at Obi-Wan, and then you watch the prequels, and then you see the Clone Wars, and you're like, oh, like there's a lot of talk in the fandom of you know that Vader and Anakin are still two different people, and that's not the case. Like, as much as Vader wants people to believe that because it's better for his image if he doesn't have an origin, like, he doesn't want people knowing he's Anakin Skywalker because like they'll ask him why he turned. He doesn't want people knowing he's Anakin Skywalker because he doesn't want an origin. He just wants to be this mysterious badass that kills people. Like, that's why he kills everybody who finds out. It's not because he doesn't want people to know that he's a former Jedi. That would actually serve the cause better. He doesn't want people to know who he is because when you don't know anything about a person, you can't figure them out. You don't know their weaknesses.
Nope.
And so, as far as the certain point of view, it's the lie that Obi-Wan had to tell himself. It's the lie Obi-Wan had to believe in order to keep going, in order to do his job and protect Luke Skywalker, because he had to believe that Anakin had become someone else, that Anakin no longer existed under that suit of armor in order for him to keep going, in order for him to do his job, because it's been teased heavily, and I'm fully in the camp that we're going to get a battle between Ewan McGregor and a suit of armor Darth Vader, like in the Kenobi show. So that's my stance on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's my turn.
You can go.
Your turn.
You sure? So, a certain point of view. Certain point of view is saying that's a lie. That's a mission of the truth. I don't care
From
what
a certain
says.
point of view.
That's a mission of the truth. And a mission of the truth in the court of law is a lie. So, plain and simple. He just avoided the question. Yoda had to be the one that said, damn it, I'm not Obi-Wan. I mean, this damn certain point of view. Yeah, Vader is your father. Like, what the hell? So, yeah, no, I mean, I don't agree with the whole. He can say, and that's where I think people get the whole, oh, Darth Vader is not Anakin, and Anakin is not. No, they're the same person. They're the same person. If I go up to, I'm gonna tell you this. This is how I look at this. If I go up to your family, I want to do this, but if somebody goes up to your family and kills them, but then they said that was not me, it was the one-armed man. But you saw them. Was it the one-armed man or was it them? It was them. I don't care if you call yourself a one-armed man or Bob Saget. I don't care. Whoever it is, that's who you are. So, certain point of view, no. I mean, you can say that, they're dead to me. That's fine. But no, they're still alive. They just took on a different name, an alias. That's all they did. So, yeah, man, like that certain point of view, I was like, that's fucked up. Even Luke Skywalker, he's like Mark Hamill did a great. That was a perfect. He's like, from a certain point of view, like, excuse the hell out of me. If you was alive, right?
You would
Like
be
that was
dead.
literally his whole like. If you was, I would stick this stump up your butt, yo man. Like, let me go read the Jedi text so I can force heal your ass and resurrect you real fast.
Just so I can put you back.
Right? But no, yeah, that's BS that Obi-Wan did that. That's messed up. I mean, I know it's for like protection and everything. We all know that. But yeah, a certain point of view, my ass, he lied. Plain and simple.
So I'm glad you said that. Because
Okay.
as you also mentioned before, in your infinite wisdom, Master Depaul, is the layers to this. And
There is layers.
Exactly. Because that's why. So I understand why Obi-Wan did it, but I too personally can't agree with it. Because I mean, he's been watching over Luke for pretty much the entire time they've been on Tatooine. And I'm more than sure that he sees a lot of Anakin in Luke, and that even probably just scares him in the slightest. And if anything, like you mentioned before, when he finally found out and he learned the absolute truth, like, is this true? And he said to Yoda, and Yoda was like, I'm going to go sleep right now. But when he was finally confirmed, you could see kind of just the bomb that was kind of dropped on him. Because, I mean, it didn't hit maybe as hard as the initial one where Vader himself kind of said it. But it was still just like a revelation. And like you said before, he never got the chance to properly reconcile that information, to truly kind of process it. And I think that's really a big thing that Obi-Wan feared. So I think at one point, if he would have remained alive post Death Star during training, it probably would have come up at one point or another when he felt that he was more mature and prepared. But I think that's the reason why he kind of left it as is, because he wouldn't be able to stay with him and again kind of get him to the point where he needs to be before you can get all that information kind of just dumped on you all at once. He feared that if he were to have all that information, like if it was all just be dumped on him at once without him properly preparing himself, that it would just be Anakin all over again. And that's the last thing anybody wants. So
Absolutely.
I mean, both Obi-Wan and Yoda kind of did him dirty, but it's like you said, it's a lie of a mission. It's from a place of caring. It's also partially his own guilt, because also like Cora was mentioning with the whole thing about they are the same person. And Obi-Wan did try to pretend like they were two different people. That's why he said the whole, oh well, Vader betrayed Anakin and killed him, because in his eyes that was the easiest way for him to kind of reconcile what had happened. So that's why he even said, like, you got to kill him. You got to kill him. No, you got to kill him. He's just like, I can't. It's my father. Like, you dumped all this on me. I saw that spark of light. No, that light's not there. Because if he admits that the light is still there, then he also has to admit that he himself is wrong in his certain point of view, which I do absolutely agree that we'll probably get that fleshed out far more in the actual Kenobi series.
You're on point with that one. I mean, like I said, layers and everything at some point. So, still can't believe that. I was like, man, I love that scene from a certain point of view. It was like, what?
As the older we get, the deeper that film just ends up being.
Yeah. Luke said, I don't want to talk about this piece. I only did. Yes and no. After knowing Anakin's side of things, I personally think, yes, Obi-Wan was in the wrong. But the real question is how much mental torture he had to go through to keep Luke safe. Oh yeah, he has some PTSD. He has some messed up stuff. I mean,
that's some knowledge that just eats at you because you can't share.
Like, and we're going to see that. And it's going like I believe that the Kenobi show is going to explore on a whole different mental level of torment that Obi-Wan had to deal with. And is it on multiple levels, on many things, just constant rejection and like not being able to, and just the torment from Anakin. I'm not even gonna get on to that. That's a whole nother thing, but we'll cover that because we're the Cantina once the Kenobi show comes out. But yeah, it's gonna oh, man, it's gonna be deep. It's gonna be deep.
It's gonna cut deep.
It's gonna cut deep. Open some wounds. You know, shit's gonna happen. Okay, that's my wife's on. Okay. Next one is: did you like the inclusion of Ewoks?
I'll go first. Absolutely, I love them. And I'm not saying this sarcastically. I'm not saying this to be like unironic or anything like that, or I'm sorry, to be ironic. No, I absolutely love Ewoks. Like I said before, they're simultaneously like the ugliest and most adorable creatures at the same time. It's like a paradox in a fuzzball fleshy form. And on top of that, I'm sure you guys know this, but for anybody who might not see the parallels to the real world and what Star Wars was an allegory for, is even the Ewoks. They were a commentary on the Vietnamese during the Vietnam War. Because, I mean, you still have people to this day that are baffled. How can a bunch of teddy bears with sticks and stones be able to take on a vastly superior force with, better firepower, bigger numbers? And it's because people don't realize, and the same thing happened with the Vietnam War, is they simply just they underestimate guerrilla warfare. It was a huge tactical mistake, and Ewoks have shown to be quite capable of great violence if need be. They are quick to learn, as we even see with the ATST. And like, if you ever actually put actual technology in their hands, I would be afraid of what they'd be able to do with it. They are a force to be reckoned with. And also back to the whole joke with Battlefield 2 with the Ewok hunt mode. that probably gave players PTSD.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Ewoks myself. Like, I really enjoyed their inclusion. Like, I mean, I don't know. Oh, people complain, but people complain about anything. I hate the Ewoks. I don't care. But they're awesome. Like, one of we were talking about the speeder chase scene. Like, how long did it take him? Like 5 minutes to hijack a speeder that he'd never probably seen before. He's just like, oh, I'm just gonna hop on this. See you later.
Right. Man, like, seriously, like, I'm trying to compose myself.
Because I'm like, Vaughns, I'm telling you.
And like,
give them the proper equipment. And
And like, look at what they're able to do, like just with what they have. Like they set traps, like those log roll traps, like those would work on the troops. Those worked on the ATSTs. Like, yeah, they're no joke. You don't underestimate the Ewoks, and plus they're adorable. Like,
Man,
That gets your
like,
defenses down.
yeah.
It's like, oh, look at the teddy bear. Ah!
Oh, look at that teddy bear. Why is the forest talking?
so for me, yes, 100% yes, 1,000% yes. The inclusion of Ewoks, I loved it. I was like, that is what caught my attention as a kid. It's like, okay, cool, but it was more, and it made it go more deeper. It's like, oh yeah, these ain't Care Bears. These are not Care Bears. They ain't doing Care Bear stare. They're throwing spears. They're doing things, flying speeders. Man, so no, absolutely. And it was said, just because you're cute and cuddly doesn't mean that you ain't deadly and mess somebody up. You can do some damage. So we have survival instincts, but no, absolutely. I mean, and that was one of their. I think that's one of their biggest weapons or advantages, because people think, oh, like you see it all through the actual movie. Every time, like even when Han Solo and them, they came across the Ewoks, oh, whatever. And then he's like, and then he's like, nah, sit your butt down. He's like, whoa. So Han's about to try to do something, but he's like, hey, Luke was like, whoa, hey, we are outnumbered. Yeah, they're smaller, but we're still outnumbered. Just chill.
I mean, if not for Luke and C-3PO, they literally would have been dinner.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I mean, you gotta think about it. The way I put it like this, you don't know how many they have. They have a lot of numbers. They might be like rabbits, is reproducing nonstop every month, like making litters of 12. So you don't know what they could do. Like they said, what's the statistic? They're with all the ants in the world gathered together, they would completely overpopulate the human race and kill us. But they just don't know how to assemble like that. They don't. I was like, makes sense. Thank God they don't. So the same thing is like, Ewoks, but they knew how to assemble. Like, yeah, don't mess with this. This is our thing. We'll mess with. So yeah, I love Ewoks. Like I said, I can talk about Ewoks all day.
We can do this another episode.
Yeah, it's another episode. What's going on, Pat? Darth Man says, you can thank the TV movies for my love and hate. So you know what? I didn't mind the Ewok movies. If you guys don't know what we're talking about the Ewok movies, go to Disney Plus. You can watch them. They're vintage TV shows and movies. I actually used to love watching the Ewok Adventures. That's what they were called.
They're not canon, but they're canon in my heart.
Right? At the time, they were canon.
Yeah.
But they said they retconned it. Now it ain't canon no more. So that was crazy. But yeah. So yeah, what's going on, man? Yes, we're talking about Ewoks. Yeah, baby. Yup, nub. That's what I'm talking about. See, Pat? Yup, freaking nub. But yeah, Ewoks are what we're talking about. So, love me some Ewoks. Oh my gosh, love me some Ewoks. So the next one will be, do you think this film ruined Han Solo? So
I want to know which one of you two came up with that question. Who actually had that thought? Who thinks that thought?
I can tell you who thinks the thought, because there are people. I wrote the questions, but
yeah. So to repeat that question, so everyone understands this question when we answer this, do you think this film ruined Han Solo?
Do I get to answer first, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Not at all. Like I'm still baffled by this question personally, because like I said before, it's all about character growth. That's part of the reason why I really love the original trilogy, because it's not just a Luke story. It's also a Han story. It's also a Leia story. It's an R2D2 story. It's maybe not so much C3PO, but he has his moments too. He gets to be a part of it, and he actually gets to grow a little bit as well. And there's just there's so much to it, and that's what we get. We get to see Han Solo going from this jaded, scruffy-looking nerf herder to finding lifelong friends, the love of his life, and even a cause worth fighting for. And that development actually becomes even more powerful when you consider, what Han went through in his Solo film.
Yeah. You did it. Okay. You did it. But I don't know how to feel about that. Oh. I like that pun. All right. So, no, it didn't ruin. Actually, I think it enhanced him. And 100% enhanced. It gave you more of his character. And we knew the whole charisma and almost like a stupid jock but lucky guy at the same time. Is like whatever, fly by the seat, smuggler, scruffy looking nerf herder. It gave him more of that pizzazz, and we love it. But when it came down to it, he got stuff done. He got business done, and just things like that.
Yeah, it was a thing I'd seen, on the internet, as it were. But no, I don't believe at all. I really like Han's implementation here in this film, and one of the complaints is like Han goes from being the person who makes the joke to being the butt of the joke, and I don't agree with that at all either. One of
maybe at the beginning he may have been kind of somewhat comedic relief, but it was more camp. It's kind of like the best comparison I can make would be like Ash from Evil Dead.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing that I do love about Han Solo in this film is this is the film where he truly commits. Like he has no reason to stick around anymore. Like his debts are paid, everything's done. Like he just got frozen, he just woke up. Like he could leave, and he doesn't. And this is the film where he goes from trying to do everything himself to actually being part of the team. So yeah, I really enjoy Han Solo. He's probably my second favorite Star Wars character. And I was to give credit to Julia, who couldn't make it tonight. He is just some guy, real big, just some guy energy from.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
From Han Solo. So yeah, I love Han Solo. I think his portrayal in this film is great, and he's got the gif up there.
Love the shrug, the Solo shrug.
Exactly, the Solo shrug, because we see it again later.
Yes.
We do love it. So yeah. Absolutely no, I agree with you guys on this one.
Well, there's just too much agreement going on in this podcast episode.
Yes and no.
Well, I mean, I didn't ask for people who loved Return of the Jedi so that we could, not love it together. So.
No, did not ruin him.
True.
That's actually a good idea. We might have to.
One of us has to become the contrarian.
Yeah, we might have to find some people that were like, "Hey, what's your takes?" No, I can't stand that one. Okay, great. You're on this podcast.
we'll vet them just in case, and they have like some crazy off the cuff opinions.
Like, we need somebody to debate with on this one.
So what you do is it's like that one joke, like where you're testing the waters. It's like, yeah, I love all the Skywalkers, including Rey.
So
that's you can tell who can make it and who can't.
Pretty much. What is your theory on why Leia remembered her mother? Man, I'm gonna repeat that one. What is your theory on why Leia remembered her mother? I got some theories.
I got a fun one.
I got the I got the reason. I got the theory. I got the Star Wars reason.
You have everything you need.
You mean like the meta reason?
Yeah, the actual reason in real life compared to the reason in Star Wars compared to my theories.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Why don't you go first? You haven't gone first yet, I don't think.
All right. So Pat says Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars film. Good job, brother. Awesome. Force connection or the thing Cal has. Good. I'm glad you said that because that's actually one of my things. What's it called? Psychometry. Psychometry. There you go. Psychometry is one, and the reason why I'm leaning towards this. Granted, she didn't have anything. Did she have anything of Padme's? She's
we don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say Bale had something of hers.
I think Bale has something of Padme's.
Yeah, so, Bale has big boss energy. I kind of feel like if anything, he probably would have told her at some point about Padme.
You think so?
I think he
I don't think he no, because
have you read the Ahsoka novel?
So here's the thing, I am big on Star Wars, not a very big book reader though. That's probably one of the only place I kind of fall short. Other than of course like the major encyclopedias, I got like stacks for days of official source books because I love digging into knowledge and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually reading books,
you gotta read these.
More to get in there.
I started reading them this year, and I've read I don't know probably almost a dozen of them. But yeah, you gotta. There's a lot of stuff that Disney's been doing to
fill in those gaps,
to really tie everything together. Like they're not leaving a lot of loose ends.
Nah, they want to shut everybody up. I'm glad.
That's good.
So yeah, read the Ahsoka novel because like it doesn't look like he was gonna tell her.
Yeah. So
the Ahsoka novel takes place, and she's like maybe just over a year old, but.
Okay, I gotta read that one then. But yeah, I mean, I think it's either psychometry. Somehow she either tapped in somebody's memory with the Force. I mean, Leia's pretty fucking powerful in the Force. I mean, but no, and I haven't read any books that say that she's accidentally used the Force as a younger kid, because that's what most people do. They accidentally use the Force as a kid through emotion, like, oh, the hell is that? So, but
a lot of the Force is very passive.
Yeah, it's just like it just flows. It happens. So either something like that, and she just kept it to herself because she didn't know, like because technically the organics are teaching her how to keep things to herself. Be quiet. Don't let people know about this.
Conceal, don't feel.
Yeah.
And as parents, I know you both would get that.
I got it. So that's one way. The real actual way, Lucas didn't know what the fuck he was doing at the time. I love you, George.
The three
he was like, but
that was it.
Yeah, he didn't know what the hell. He's like, oh shit, my bad. So they had to go. Disney had to go and fix that. And they're probably still fixing it. The comics now. And the third would be actually I think it's just those two. But third is like unless she was talking about her mother, like her adopted Belle Organa's wife. And I was like, yeah, I remember her a little bit. And like, because I don't know if Belle Organa's wife died early.
See, that's what I was trying to remember.
Or not.
Because then that would make sense.
I'm pretty sure she's still alive at the time of New Hope, like 98%.
I was saying not anymore.
I'll say what? Yeah. Okay, all right. So, yeah, because I don't know the answer for that one, but yeah, I mean those are my thoughts on that one. But I would say because it's going to be more of a for that line, it's going to be a Force ability. Somehow they'll tie like she's had a passionate memory, and then poof, like she read Belle Organa's. Because was he there? No, he wasn't there. He wasn't in the living room, was he?
What do you mean?
When?
No.
Yeah.
He was on Coruscant, as far as I know.
Okay. So only people who know this was in the room was Yoda and Obi-Wan.
Yoda wasn't in the room.
Oh, Yoda's in the room.
No, the only
You're right.
person who,
It was
because
Obi-Wan.
it was on Mustafar. Like the only person who knew was Obi-Wan.
Was it on Mustafar?
But yeah, because like they had to do it because she was dying. It was either on Mustafar or like the way home.
I think it's okay. I thought that.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, the
Okay.
birth happened, but we still had the scene afterwards where they're like talking about splitting up the children, and
Yeah, but not
Bill
like
Gunner.
yeah. They were. I mean, they were all like there, like right after. But yeah,
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense because what's it called with their time jumps, Star Wars, and next thing you know, you're hey, yeah, we were just in
50
Mustafar.
years in the future.
Now we're over at 5 hours later. Like, whoa, that was a big, fast warp drive right there. So yeah, so go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to say it's a variation or a form of a force imprint. Because obviously, Padme didn't just kind of shoot herself off into her own kid. That'd be kind of weird. I mean, it's not out of the scope of something that would be done in Star Wars, but I feel like it's a variation of that. So I think when both Luke and Leia were born, this is kind of exists kind of in real life in a sense, and through our own DNA and hereditary things and so on, that we are the culmination of our parents, and sometimes we even take after our parents as far as our mannerisms or certain things we like and so on and so forth. So it's basically just a force level version of that. I mean, that's why we see Luke so much like Anakin, even though he never grew up with Anakin or was anywhere, or he wasn't aware of his existence, other than just like you had a dad. His name was Anakin. That was it. And kind of same thing with Leia. So Leia was a lot like Padme. I mean, there's a lot of parallels to both of those twins to their respective parents. So I kind of feel like that's where it was kind of going. Yes, Lucas didn't know he was doing it at the time. That is the correct like in real world answer. But if we want to give the man more credit than where credit's due, and I'm just going to do that just for the sake of just doing it. I mean, Lucas does love his parallels, so it could have been something like that.
Yeah, I get it. X4.
yeah. I'm like 98% sure it's psychometry. That was always my like once I learned about the ability because Bale I don't think told her. He understands how much is riding on all of this. He understands that it's his job to keep her hidden and safe. And you're like, that's how else do you do that? Like, it's one of the reasons why it didn't make sense to me that Luke kept the name Skywalker. It's like, bro, you're hiding a Skywalker on Tatooine. Like, you might as well go around posting flyers.
Right. Somebody told me on TikTok, they're like, well, Skywalker is a common name. I'm like,
no, it's not.
No,
I'm like, bro, why
not.
being random? Hey, this is so and so Skywalker. I mean, we heard of Biggs. What's his name?
Darklighter.
Yeah. I'm like, that's unique. I was
a lot
like,
of their names seem fairly unique.
Like, I mean, I get it's not like Smith or Johnson.
I just think they were banking on the fact that it's out in the outer rim. It's a dust planet nobody cares about, and he wasn't doing anything of note.
Yeah, until he was.
yeah, exactly.
Like that's the thing. It's like
until he did.
Right.
He wasn't doing anything notable until your whole plan was to let him grow up to the point where something happens and you tell him to kill his dad. Like, but yeah, I have a feeling that Bale had more than one of Padme's personal effects, and I'm gonna go ahead and say because this is part of canon information. I'm gonna go ahead and say he had one of her like head hair combs or some sort of hairpin or something of hers to that effect because there's a canon story where Leia goes to Naboo, sort of to like a diplomatic ball, and she's dressed up like a Nubian, and she is recognized because she looks so much like Padme.
Mm.
Um, and it's I want to say his name's Captain Panaka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he ends up being a Moff, and he's about to like tell tell the Emperor what's
Yeah.
going on, and he ends up getting killed.
I forgot
Um,
about his whole turncoat thing.
he didn't. He didn't. I mean, he just was like, okay, well, it's the Emperor now.
I'm
So,
gonna stick with this. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that like she had psychometry, and like that's probably one of the few things that she was able to see, and she just thought it was her mom, or maybe she as she got older she knew the difference and didn't say anything. But there's no way Bale told her um, at all up front. Like there's no way.
That's fair. I mean, it also the more you guys have mentioned it, the more it does make sense. Especially the hairbrush thing is huge if you really think about it. Because the fact that it even could have happened because again how passive the ability is. Even as she's getting her hair brushed, it could have occurred. But yeah, it makes sense that Bill would have objects of hers around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and like I said, and like even if it wasn't something like she owned, it could have been something that she just gave Bale. I mean, they were friends. They weren't just colleagues in the Senate. They like from everything we've seen, they were friends.
mhm.
So there's no reason to believe that like she didn't give him a paperweight for his desk.
No, I mean, I'm right there with you guys on this one. I
I can
mean,
just imagine she just touches an object. She goes like, "That's so Raven," kind of zoom in.
Well, and that's how psychometry literally works.
Yeah.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying it was just so funny, even just imagining it.
Like even like I think like the only one who we have in canon that can control we've seen three people with the ability that demonstrate the ability directly.
Well,
This is what this is. Ray has it. She can't control it. Cal Kestis has it. He can't control it. He touches an object and it happens. The only one that can control their psychometry was Quinlan Voss.
Not only that, but what made him unique is it wasn't just objects; it also was people as well.
mhm.
That's what also made him such an excellent tracker.
No, I agree. I mean, and he had to really master it because if he touched my dark side, guess what? That shit. I think that they mentioned that in the book. It's like, yeah, it can mess you up. You gotta be careful. You have to be a master to do that one. That's a unique skill. Um, but and that actually the reason why I'm leading more always towards the psychometry is because even in the Last Jedi, when Luke brought the astral plane, I'm gonna say astral plane, his body over there, and the image, and then brought her Han's dice. I think if she touched it, that was like, here you go. Luke probably knowing her power. Say, here, I know you have this power. This is how you have to defeat Kylo. This is how he's going to have to be. I think that was foreshadowing his defeat through Han Solo.
You felt like that was the Death Star plans.
No, not the Death Star plans. I'm saying that so in that was the rise.
No, I meant more in the terms of the blueprints for his defeat, in a sense, metaphorically speaking. Oh wait, I think you're still stuck on it. There you go.
Yeah, my daughter. Okay, thank you.
I was gonna say we should turn that into a drinking game with the three of us. Like whenever one of us has to like turn to look to our kid or
Right? Yeah.
take a shot.
But yeah, because like it's just a theory of mine. It's like when Luke brought the dice to Leia, was talking to her before he went to go face Kylo Ren. When she touched it, it gave her some the ideas that, oh, okay, this is how he's hurting so bad, so I have to. She saw everything. It's like his father is how he's gonna redeem himself by appearing as Han Solo, because she couldn't do it. She could have come out as Leia, but she knew from touching it that Han, he was still getting ate up from Han.
I still love though the fact that Harrison Ford was asked about that. Like, hey, is it true that you were a Force ghost in this film? He's like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Harrison Ford was like, man, this movie.
He has a love-hate relationship with Star Wars.
He said, it made me a lot of money. I got a lot of roles from this. It launched my career. But damn it, I hate this movie.
He's just mad he didn't sign on for the royalties.
No.
Yes.
No, I mean, like, no, I agree, yes. Not like, nah, you're wrong. No, I agree with you. In the universe where the characters have the ability to see future through space magic, having the ability to remember something from a very young age is not. Oh no, look, I'll tell you this: it's not all from real life. When you have a traumatic experience, you can remember that. My earliest memory of a child was 2 years old. I had surgery on my ears, and I remember because I was going deaf as a baby. And I remember I wasn't responding to any sound. I remember them I remember seeing a light, being laying down, seeing a light, bright ass light, and seeing a hand with a mask coming down like this over my face and going out. So I remember the beginning of being put under anesthesia for my surgery. Traumatic at 2 years old.
That's wild.
Right? My mom was like, you remember that? I was like, yeah. She's like, you were 2 when that happened. I was like, huh. So, no, yeah, it's not far off at all in real life. Chocolate, oh, yeah. So, Cal, Element says, I think they speak on this in Queen's book. It's less psychometry since that is cognate on an object memory transference and more force memory association. Okay. Guess gotta read the Queen's book. All this damn reading. Come on, Disney.
That's what I'm saying. If it needs to be in the movie, it's not a movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Didn't you just get in an argument with that Element of somebody? Somebody had a TikTok. They literally got in an argument. Why do you gotta put everything in books? If it's canon, it should be on the movies. Like, so you're saying because you're illiterate, it's not canon. Okay.
Hey, I don't read books. I'm not illiterate.
No. Don't read books rather than won't read books is different. You read books. You read comics. I read comics.
That's true. No, that was somebody else. But I actually did touch on that. I hate the term Mary Sue. So I did a 40 minute, which is probably 40 more minutes that I should have done, breakdown of like the 4 biggest offenders that people have, say, claiming to be Mary Sue's. And that's the one thing that I used as part of evidence. I'm like, we're not even going to treat external sources, but if you look at external sources, they actually do a really good job of filling in those gaps. So, but no, you can't say that. It's canon. It's part of Star Wars. Yeah. Yes, sometimes it's more helpful to have it be in the film, but I can't see in any of the movies where there is such a huge gap in logic that it's necessary for you to read the books.
Actually, the sequels have proven to us that it's not helpful to be in the films because people still interpret it their own way unless it's written out, unless they say yes and go in detail, each and every detail to explain everything out. Like, until this day, I say this, I can't believe that this happened. But this is the first time that I've known that they had to put posters up or it's not even a poster, a notice in every theater saying, "Hey, the silence during the Hodor maneuver is part of the film. The sound did not go out." They had an announcement. I'm like, "Are you shitting me?"
No, that was dramatic effect. Full. That was cinematography. Like that's all that was.
Exactly.
And it made it. Even though like I'm not the biggest fan of that scene, that still, from a cinematic standpoint, was absolutely gorgeous. It was an iconic moment.
And that's the thing, like that they had to explain that to people like in the theater because people was going to the sound went out on my money back. It's like, no, that's part of the film. I was like, wow. There was a news article, like a news broadcast at my local news. People saying that. I'm like, that are we that dense? I was like,
Besides from all
wow.
the other arguments that spawned from that, but whatever.
So no, yeah, I mean, even though don't be killing me, don't be dying on me, man. All right, all right. So Element actually corrected that. No, not the queens. I mean Leia's Princess of Alderaan. Okay. Simply because in Star Wars books, Leia is only described as having dueling reflexes and vision abilities, no psychometry. Whereas Cal, Quinlan, and Rey have that ability. Man.
Yeah, it's plainly shown or mentioned, whether it be in movies or the books.
Yeah, true. Wishful thinking, you know.
I still think it's a good theory.
I think it's a great theory. It's a theory I'm gonna go with until then. It's not canon.
Shoved in your face.
My head canon. It's like lightsaber colors. Yeah. It's okay though. Everybody's doing it. We're doing good. The problem is with the argument. I always say that the Star Wars has had books for all info gaps, and since time, what's that word?
Immemorial.
Yeah, immemorial.
Yeah.
I got glasses. Woo. Let's say I didn't see one M. Wow. Okay. Not just Disney sequels. No, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that, and that's why I can believe people were even questioning that. But yeah. Other media is huge part of Star Wars because people want more Star Wars universe, but can't make a movie or show for every little detail. You're absolutely right. It wouldn't be cost efficient. So I was like,
yeah, there's
what it is.
I mean, people don't want to read the novelizations, which are canon, but that they completely misinterpret scenes in the movie. It's like, well, then you're the person that should be reading it.
Exactly.
Like the end scene, it's like she didn't deserve. Like, dude, they're looking at her, going, yeah. Like, people needed that spelled out. So
they needed either Luke or Leia to be like, "Call yourself Skywalker,"
which in the novelization is basically what happens. Like, Luke looks at her and says, "Go ahead, Rey, take it. It's yours."
Like the nod wasn't good enough.
You didn't get that from the scene.
Hey, the nod. Yes, go ahead.
People don't know what the nod is. They do not know the versatility of the nod.
When you said I can just hear freaking Mark's voice doing that. Go take it. It's yours, girl. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then these are the same people who say, you know, you don't need. These are the same people who say, you know, we want more Star Wars, and then you're like, okay, well, here's books, shows, comments. No, I don't want to read.
Element just got me with that.
Yeah, I know. I was.
Here are your force papers. Here you go.
But it's like, you know, here's all this Star Wars content. You know, it's there. You can read it. You can, you know. You can look at it. There's comics, there's shows. No, I only want movies. Well, but you complain that you don't have all the story.
But they'll also go ahead and include the game, Fallen Order. They'll consider that canon, no problem. That's not the movies.
Yep. You're absolutely right, and that's whatever fits their.
I didn't mean to push on such a horrible tangent.
No, it's cool. All right, next one will be. What would you say is the most important theme of this film? Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
I'm gonna be a broken record.
Go ahead.
Should we do like a Step Brothers and let's like all count to 3 and try and say we're gonna say it at the same time?
We can.
All right, ready? 3,
1,
2, 1, go. Hope.
redemption.
Oh,
Oh, well. What? Do we just become best friends? No, redemption is also a very important theme.
So y'all said hope.
yes.
I said hope.
Well, I'm not a stepbrother. Everybody.
Who wants to elaborate first?
Well, since you guys are hope, I'm gonna go with elaborate first on this one. Then redemption, just for Vader, in multiple ways. Luke, like overall, like even Han Solo.
Yeah, absolutely.
He went from like the not caring about anybody else, just him and Chewie, to caring about more than everything. Finding a place, like you said. He redeemed himself from being that scruffy-headed nerf herder, and being a Solo, being to surprised he didn't change his name to whatever, I'm not a Solo anymore.
I'm Han Many.
Well, yeah, Han family. But no, I mean that's one part of redemption. Of course, Vader. That's the obvious one. Redeeming from the dark side to the light. Defeating the person that he was completely afraid of, that was crippling him. That the one thing that he actually feared. Well, he feared a lot of things, but until he realized that Luke was who Luke was, and that hope, he kept on. He said, "Okay, well, I'm not gonna let this happen again. So I'm going to do what I need to do to redeem this and get this going right, because this is my son. This is my last connection to Padme. This is my last connection to my family," before he realized that Leia's there. Okay, great. Now I have a daughter. Shit. Now how will Padme feel? Now I really got so everything was just clicking. So that was a whole nother thing. Seeing Luke getting shot, like, nah, screw this. We ain't doing this again. So that's another redemption. It's just so many levels of redemptions on this. That's how I saw it. I mean, hope was like, yeah, I mean, hope is this the whole saga. But for me, it was just redemption.
Oh, and you're absolutely right. Like we talked about it before. Redemption was also a major theme, especially in this film in particular. So I agree with you 110%. But the reason why I mentioned hope, just like you just said, it's all encompassing in regards to Star Wars as an overall theme. But I mean, even this one, and Element actually put it perfectly. What I was going to say is just the biggest detail about when Luke threw that saber away. He literally had so much hope in his father and him being able to turn back to light that he literally put his life on the line. That was the wager of the bet. Was, you know what? I don't need this lightsaber because I know my father's going to be there for me. I know there's still good in him, and that's how we're going to beat you. Funny enough, it's basically, a lot of people really don't like the line from Rose about, it's not about killing what you hate, it's about like saving what you love. And that's exactly what Luke did in that moment. That's pretty much the prototype of that.
No,
it's all about hope.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I would say there is no wrong answer, but at the same time, yeah. But and after you say everything, yeah, it makes perfect sense. That was a big factor in it. That whole throwing the lightsaber down. So yeah.
And even then, just look at the final conflict again, because we were talking about there was threefold going on. You had the throne room conflict, you had the space battle conflict, you had the Force Movement Endor conflict, and even when all the odds was stacked against all three scenarios, they never lost that hope. They held on to that hope, clinged to it until the very end. I mean, especially it resonates to the real world yet again, because it's all about, even when everything is stacked up against you. You hold on to that hope, especially if you're fighting for what's right, especially when you're fighting against injustice and tyranny. Sorry if that got too deep.
No.
That's good. Yeah. there's two main themes to Star Wars, and they're both uniquely tied together. And it's hope and the past. Um, the story of Star Wars is a story of, to quote Fern, radical hope. It's hope in the face of overwhelming odds. I mean, they didn't really have much hope for the Clone Wars. The Separatists were being led by Count Dooku, who was a former Jedi who was seemingly a master tactician. They had this seemingly endless droid army, but they always had the hope that no matter what, the right thing would happen. And then Vader becomes Vader, but and then you have the same thing. Really, you have a small band of rebels. You have this empire that's invincible, and then they blow up the Death Star, and they give the entire galaxy hope that hey, maybe we can do this.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah. So it's hope, but it's also the other side of that is that your past does not define you. That's very important. No matter what, no matter what you were born into, Anakin goes from being a slave on a nowhere planet to being the chosen one, a general. Um, same thing with Luke, essentially. Ray, you know, and then you have the characters like Han Solo. He's he's a nobody. He's just some guy. He's a smuggler. He's a scoundrel. Nobody wants to deal with Han Solo, and he becomes a hero. Um,
A general.
a hero, a general. He becomes the guy who saved the rebellion not once but twice.
All the things you don't expect him to be.
Yeah.
At least when you're first introduced to him.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Finn. I mean, he's a stormtrooper who decides that he's not going to be a stormtrooper anymore. He's going to do the right thing, and
Should have been Jedi.
yes, yeah, we're not going to go there. Not tonight. It's like if you literally look at every character, it's them using their hope to defy the circumstances of their past. I mean, even Anakin. In the original trilogy, he's made all these terrible, terrible decisions, and every single time that he's presented with the choice to make the right decision or to double down, he doubles down every single time until the last act of his life. So yeah, it's hope that things will be better, that you can always do better, but it's also the realization that your past does not define you. The past does not define you. You are not your circumstances.
It's weaponized hope?
I mean, kind of. if you want to look at it that way, but
no, I wouldn't. Because that undermines the whole point of it. Just the way it was described is what came to mind.
But yeah, it's hope. Hope is Star Wars. No matter what no matter what way you look at it. And then it's the aspect that you are not your past. You're not your parents' past. You're not the circumstances you were born into. You can always make that choice. That to me is what Star Wars is.
Okay. And that's the great thing, is that Star Wars can be many different things to everybody, and it's all on how you interpret it. As long as you're not toxic with it, it's about if you got something completely different from it, that's fine. If that's what helps you through life, to help you be a better person, awesome. But yeah, the general consensus for Star Wars overall is hope. Yes, keep that hope alive, and to keep constantly. There's different other themes in there too, but yes, absolutely. Vader, Luke, Obi-Wan, Yoda. Name any character. Redemption is a name. Prequels failed. OG, redemption. Sequels, hope. Failures, okay. Star Wars equals the power of French.
Yes.
Yeah. What? The power of friendship. All right,
The
cool.
real
So,
force was the friendship we made along the way.
See also Jedi Star Killer's Sailor Moon edit. If you
I
haven't
haven't seen
seen,
that one.
oh my god.
Wow, I gotta check that out. Okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to find it. It's on TikTok somewhere, and he's
Oh,
being
I'll
Buried in
find
the
it.
archives.
yeah, it's buried. It's buried, but it's hilarious.
Well, I'll find it. All right. So the most important question of the day, and I know he ain't watching this. I know he's not gonna watch this. Makes our Windu. So, but this is the most important question, I believe, that will just determine a lot. It brings people together. It tears people apart. It it causes controversy. It just causes love. So with that, Yub Nub versus Victory Celebration.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm about to make a lifelong enemy right here.
Ding
I
ding.
would gladly take Jedi Rocks over Yub Nub any day of the week.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Oh,
I would see. So here's the thing.
I think
So
his connection fell out. What do you say?
I think both are the correct answer depending on the context of the question. So like Yub Nub works better if you're treating Return of the Jedi as if it was its own standalone film. And the song is just so cheesy and on brand for Lucas. Like it's so him. And you still get the same amount of screen time for the Ewoks in both versions, so it's kind of hard to say that I like Yub Nub more, but it definitely feels like it's more personal to the Ewoks, more personal to that struggle, which is why I said it works best for that film. If you're looking at it from just that film perspective, ending it that way. Celebration though works better when you're viewing it as the ending to an entire saga, is the fact that you jump from the planet to planet to planet, where we've been to all these planets along the way, and I said this before, but it's just yet another flex on Lucas's part, as where he continues to kind of just throw CG into the older films just to show that he can. Like, this is what I'm capable of now.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I'm taking Yub Nub though.
Smart man. No, actually, what you said is on point. For the overall saga, Victory Celebration fits better because it captures all of the the prequels, the original. Yeah, from where that I had to think from
boy,
it.
does word travel fast, because like they just finished that conflict, and apparently
Exactly,
the
right? It's
entire
like, what the
galaxy already knows the Empire's been defeated, and is already assembled enough to throw this big celebration everywhere.
man? But still to this day, Yub Nub for life. It rocks like better song wise. Yub Nub for better fit overall for the saga. Yeah, I give you Victory Celebration as a better fit, but Yub Nub still rocks. And like I said, everything that you just said like made perfect sense. It's probably the reason why he put that in there. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I gotta put this in there because it captures everything, not just the original trilogies. But so yeah. But for me, Yub Nub is hands down a better song than Victory Celebration.
Indubitably.
Interesting take.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Boy, that smirk. This. Hey everybody! So this might be the last episode of Conspiracy Cantina.
So here's the thing. As a song, Victory Celebration is better composed than Yub Nub. I don't think many of us are going to argue that point. I mean, Jedi Master Depaul looks like he might, but the thing about it is this. And Xanth said this on Choco's podcast, and it immediately made sense to me as to why I prefer Yub Nub. Yub Nub is a diegetic piece of the movie. That movie is there for that celebration that the Ewoks are having. Like it's that's what it's for. Whereas Victory Celebration is something that's for the audience who's viewing the films. But that's why I like Yub Nub better. Yub Nub makes you feel like you're part of the celebration,
right?
That's to me what it's all about. I mean, some of it might be nostalgia, but like it's you feel like you're there, hanging out in a treehouse, eating stormtrooper barbecue. It's great.
You're a part of the cookout. I just wouldn't recommend eating some of the meat that they're offering.
Right? Yeah, man. I don't know. Like,
you don't know where
that. Nah, go get the antelope. I'll take the antelope meat.
You know,
cool.
and you know, you're playing the stormtrooper helmet drums, and you know, so yeah, like I wouldn't argue that Yub Nub is a better composed piece of music, and I think that's a big part of. But another part of the reason, though, too, is it's not a bad song. Like if you listen to Victory Celebration, Yub Nub's still there. They didn't delete the sound; they just turned it way down.
Yeah.
But it's still there. But yeah, no, that's why I like Yub Nub more. Like it's not a better piece of music. I don't feel like anybody would really argue that. Victory Celebration as a whole, you know, a whole symphony doing a piece of music.
Yeah, no. John Williams did an amazing job with Victory Celebration. He composed the shit out of that.
But Yub Nub
is still better.
Is better. It doesn't take you out of the film either. Like that's the thing about Victory Celebration. Like you're celebrating a victory with the people who actually did the fighting.
Yeah.
You're not going to Coruscant and Naboo and like all these other places. Like, yay, the Empire's over, but we didn't do a thing about it.
You know what's funny about that? What you just said, Coruscant, they're cheering all that stuff like that. Coruscant was really for the Empire.
Yeah, I don't know if Coruscant's in there. I just
no, they were.
Yeah,
I remember they were. They're like, yeah, we're cool, we're rich, man, we don't care. I mean, the stormtroopers are jerks and everything, sometimes to certain people, but some like the class levels, they're like, yeah, we're fine.
The upper class definitely prospered.
Yeah, no, we're fine. We don't care. You know, you're it's like real life.
That's the reason I was making faces until you elaborated. You're like, no, as far as the upper class concerned, yeah. No, that makes sense. I thought you were like the whole Coruscant. I'm like, oh
no, not whole Coruscant. So, well, yeah.
I like I said, I definitely prefer watching the Yub Nub version of that because, like I said, it's for the people in the film, and honestly, that makes it better for me. But that's just, you know, I'm weird, so.
You're not weird. You're just
right. Like your movie simple and clean.
Oh man, no. So someone clip that. I'm not weird. I'm just right. I'm going to use that.
There you go.
Talk to my wife.
Coin that. There you go.
This could be the next Conspiracy Cantina T-shirt.
I'm not weird. I'm just right.
You put it in a quote and then just have your tag. There you go. And in the back, Conspiracy Cantina. I want some of the royalties as well.
Oh, so I can't ignore my brother. You don't like this comment. I got you. Victory Celebration all the way. That's cool. That's cool.
I mean, you know.
But, yeah, no, you have enough for life. Plain simple. I mean. All right. Well, cool. That was awesome. I'm glad we got that debate out the way because we already know that you have enough for life. So, I'm glad, though, that, I mean, just like that, yes, I'm stubborn. I love Yub Nub. Yub Nub is a better song for me. It's a better song, but Victory Celebration is a better fit. Yes, I agree. So, Yub Nub life. So, with that said, closing thoughts about Return of the Jedi.
I know that a lot of people claim that Empire Strikes Back is like objectively the best Star Wars film, or at least as far as the original trilogy is concerned. I mean, especially because some of the risks that it took. I mean, especially with the most one of the most iconic reveals, revelations, twists in cinema history, with the whole Luke, no, oh, I am your father. Even though everybody completely misquotes that, like I just did. Uh, but I would still say, just overall, Return of the Jedi, in my opinion, just my opinion, holds that title instead for just about every reason that we basically just discussed in this podcast.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. This is the best Star Wars film, and I will die on that hill. This is the only Star Wars film that hits every single theme of Star Wars: found family, hope, redemption. Hits them all. There's not a
Yup,
single
yup.
and even bringing the Ewoks into it, just to reinforce this is a ragtag group going up against the Empire. Like just in case you weren't sure, because it's been a while since we really nailed that home. And the other thing about this is it touches on something that no other Star Wars film touches on, and it starts to. This is why I wish we had a sequel trilogy 30 years ago, but it starts to really look at the themes of what it means to be human. Like it goes into what's going on with Vader, where Luke's taking that road. Like there's so many different layers that this is
Learning to live and love.
yeah, this is undeniably the best Star Wars film. I mean, you can like Empire Strikes Back better. You sure can, but it's not the best Star Wars film.
I can just imagine Cora and I on that hill right now. Ah! Ah!
Oh, guys. Oh, guys. Okay. I'll let you have that one. I'll let you have that one.
Hey, you said it yourself. I'm not weird. I'm right.
I'm gonna let you have that one. All right, but no, yeah, like I gotta piggyback on what Ready Comics Roll said, is that everything we covered is what made this the best movie, and what like my closing thoughts for it is like why we're talking about it is that it's an iconic movie. It was the conclusion to a saga or a trilogy at the time. It was the first best trilogy ever. Like it made so much money. It was like it set the bar. Like it did things. So this movie was like it literally set the bar to have a movie that started out good, got better, and ended like, oh my god, this is how.
And it's also the foundation of a lot of the themes and subjects that we see not only in the prequels but also the sequels. Like a lot of the main points and scenes that people love from the sequels most started out in the original trilogy.
Absolutely.
They just piggybacked off on it, elaborated on it more, and just really drove it home.
Absolutely. No, you're 100% right. And that's the thing is like, okay, cool. Now let's just write it out and finish it. So, everything that gives us, the redemption, hope, friendship, just nonstop. It was amazing. It just hits on every point, and
can't forget Han Mini.
Han Mini, yes, Han Mini. I expect a TikTok from you on that one. Han Mini, yes, no, and just that touching moment with Luke and Vader. I mean, you can call it touching, you can call it like messed up, whatever you want to call it, but it was a great moment. It's like to see that whole act. It was just like nice.
It's gonna hit you in the feels no matter what.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially if you got daddy issues. And boy, did I have some daddy issues. Had, I should say, back then.
Well, I wasn't nodding for you in agreement. I was like, I know that feel.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just love the movie. Love I mean, it was my first love for Star Wars. And yeah. Good talk. So with that said, did you go X-Score?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And you went too, comics,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, we
Make sure. So go on chat real fast. But wrap this up for now. Yes, thanks, Pat. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
So,
Pat's
might be
Unite.
able to catch it. Awesome. Final thoughts: Return of the Jedi is the best in the original series. For me, the top 5 movies in Star Wars. Excellent choice. So with that said, guys, we're coming to a conclusion with another ending of the Conspiracy Cantina. Episode 10 coming to wraps. Return of the Jedi. So what we're going to do, go around the horn and go ahead and tell people where they can find you from again. And yeah. Ready Comics Roll?
So again, yes, I'm Anthony of Ready Comics Roll. You can find me on TikTok, hopefully for now. I'm going to fight these community strikes. They're not going to keep me down. But in case they somehow do, you can also follow me here on YouTube. It's also like almost like my backup TikTok in a sense, because I also put a lot of my shorts on here too, because they're a lot less strict when it comes to prop weapons and whatnot.
There you go.
Yeah, so definitely follow me on TikTok, Jedi Master Depaul.
I don't follow you.
No, I just had to put you on spot on live.
I thought I followed you.
Or maybe unless you did today.
Nah, bro. I swear, like the last Conspiracy Cantina, you say you don't follow me. I'd say, oh, my bad. Boop, boop. I gotta check. TikTok been acting weird because I followed some people before, and I know they followed me, and after an update, it was like, nope.
And sometimes I've noticed, like, because I keep my follow low.
Yeah.
Like I only have 52, and that's also how I can tell. Like, I see the number change. I'm like, I didn't add anybody. Where's all these other random people coming from? Because I try to keep it low so I can see all the people that I speak with all the time or interact with and follow their content a lot easier. So it keeps my For You page a little bit tighter. No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, that's cool. I mean, I get it. And yeah, I want to follow. I will follow if I have not. But yeah. Okay.
My podcast is long since dead, but you can, again, there's still like 80 episodes to go through and enjoy on Spotify, Amazon, and iTunes. And then, of course, just follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Again, really appreciate you guys having me on. This has been an absolute blast. I'm glad that you remembered my love for Return of the Jedi and having me on this specific episode of any of the ones it could have been.
Absolutely, yeah. People who say that this is their favorite Star Wars are honestly pretty few and far between. So I tend to remember when people are like, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite." It's like, yes.
Yes. All right. And you, good sir?
I am xcoregamerskillz literally everywhere. I don't have content everywhere, but that's a work in progress. I am currently working through Jedi Fallen Order on Twitch. I was supposed to stream on Friday, but I was sick. My kids are sick. I'm finally starting to feel better. So probably tomorrow around noontime, I will stream for like 2.5 hours. So hopefully Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. I'm starting a new job, so my schedule's going to change. I am here every other Tuesday. That's probably gonna change because I'm getting a new job, so we're gonna have to change the Conspiracy Cantina schedule. The Cantina itself is not going anywhere. Yeah, and on TikTok, I haven't posted in about a week because, like I said, I've been sick. So
You should just do just the bed or the couch videos. Like, yeah, this is what I think of.
No, I can't. Like, I'm finally, like, tonight is the first night I've felt human in like days. Like I woke up this morning, like I don't know how I'm going to do a podcast tonight. Like I don't know if you guys watched the announcement video. I'm like, I got my hood up. It's like 70 degrees outside. I'm sitting on my porch, like, but yeah. So I haven't even been in the space to like think of things to talk about.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just a cold. It's just like when I get a cold, like this is a head cold. Like my kids are mostly fine. My wife's kind of feeling it, but like she's like, yeah, I got a cough and a head cold. And like whenever I get a cold, my entire body like shuts down.
I feel you on that. I do the same thing. So no, I understand. Okay. Well, cool. For me, you can find me at TikTok at Jedi Depaul. Also here bi-weekly and on the Cantina bi-weekly. Yeah. So that's where you can find me for my Star Wars content. But yeah, stay tuned for the updates for the Cantina because my diet has a new job. So we will be keeping you guys updated and the time will be changing. So stay tuned on that one. And with that said, let me see, we covered everything. Thank you for that's what I got to do. Thanks to the chat. Thank you, chat, for staying active and putting out there and being supportive, and commenting, letting us know your thoughts and opinions. We really do appreciate that because we're doing this for fun, but you guys make it even funner.
You the real MVP.
The real damn EVP for sure.
Yes, we always appreciate the chat.
Yes. Also, if you guys are watching, Star Wars Lawyer is actually doing a melee for Super Smash Bros. On the Switch. I guess he does some Mario Kart, and I can't wait to get on top of that because I love some Mario Kart. And so, so get in his Discord for that one. But until the next one, guys.
Yeah, he called me out, so it's
he did call you out. I was like, ooh, so yeah, it's on. But and I added you too. So accept my request.
Oh, okay, yeah, I will.
So with that, guys, until the next one, take care, be safe. Yup, nut for life.
Yup, nut for life. And may the force be with you.
There we go. All right, guys, take care, and until next one.